My line. And now, let's all play What's My Line? And now, live from New York, let's meet our What's My Line panel. First, the delightful star of stage and television, Miss Arlene Francis.
And now one of the most delightful curmudgeons in television, Mr. Henry Morgan.
May I introduce a very young and charming old friend, Gypsy Rose Lee.
And now the man who was too short-sighted to publish any of my books, Bennett Cerf.
And here is the very last word in water pollution, Calipigian damsels, and panel moderating, John Charles Daly.
Well, Miss Lee and Mr. Morgan, welcome.
Thank you.
You've picked a very good night to come, because our tricks are, I think, a little more interesting tonight than on most nights. So brace yourselves for a half hour, which will, I trust, give you some fun, even though you don't guess anything.
Oh.
Bennett, I didn't mean that for you. Arlene, you're going to California. Arlene's going to go to Palm Springs right after the program, and I can't get her to take me even as cargo, which I wish we could do.
Just ask me.
Yeah, I will do that. I will do that. We'll also have a famous mystery guest before the panel a little bit later in the program, but right now let's meet our first contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Mr. X. That's fine. Thank you very much, Mr. X. And we'll also tell you something, panel. We're not going to tell you anything about where Mr. X is from, because we feel this also might give you some information. But I would like to present our panel, Mr. X. Now, will you join me over here, please, sir? And we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your name is and what your line is. As I told you, Gypsy and Henry, you know, we're going to play some tricks tonight. Arlene and Bennett are used to it. But we will give you this much information. Mr. X is self-employed, and he deals in a service. And we'll begin things with Bennett, sir.
Mr. X, you have an air about you that would indicate to me that you come from, that you're either French or English. Is that correct?
Which one?
Or was it one of the two?
Yes.
I'll choose English, having heard you.
Yes.
Are you from England?
I am.
Do you perform your service in England?
I do.
Has your service got anything to do with the world of fashion?
It has.
Now, I guess that this, there's a girl that's just come over here called, I think, Twiggy. He was a very famous model. Have you ever used the services of Twiggy in the work that you do?
I have.
Were you a designer of clothes?
No.
No. One down, 9 to go. Arlene. Very good, though, Bennett.
However, do you represent men's fashions in England?
No.
No?
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Morgan.
Do you have anything at all to do with fashion?
Actually, Henry, you put your thumb on it. What we have agreed is that there is a relationship between our guest and the fashion world. Now, what you have to determine is what this relationship is.
Well, that sounded like a reprimand, and I wish you would do that. I have a very bad
No, it isn't
cold,
meant. All I'm trying to
and
do
I don't
is
feel well at all, and I should
You
be
got a
handled
cold?
very gently.
Have you got a cold?
I have pneumonia and a cold.
Oh, you have pneumonia and a cold. Well, Arlene, have a good trip if you make it. Now, the other thing I'm trying to suggest to you is that we have not said specifically that in the narrow confines of one description here that our guest necessarily spends all of his time. We have agreed that there is a relationship to the fashion field.
You know what he meant?
All right. Mr. X, do you perform a service, a unique service that is connected with the fashion field?
I like to think it's fairly unique, but it's a service.
Yes. Does it have to do in any way with graphic reproductions?
No.
3 down and 7 to go. Miss Lee.
What does that mean, Henry?
Pictures.
Oh, I see. Do you have anything to do with handling fabrics?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Rex, by eliminating graphic reproductions, you are eliminating the entire world of photography. Is that correct?
I am.
Do you come into any contact with the world that writes about fashion?
Yes, I do.
Comes into
You come
any
into
contact with. Yes.
Very much so.
We've eliminated designing. We've eliminated being the man who runs one of these famous dress places, have we not?
Basically.
Do you ever have anything to do with these fashion shows that are put on for the haute monde, as we say?
Yes, I do.
Oh, golly, you don't own the place. You don't... Are you a model yourself?
5 down, 5 to go, Miss Francis.
But you do have something to do with putting on fashion shows. Is
Has
that
a
correct?
relationship to them and to the whole fashion operation. I
Do you
stressed
represent
relationship.
a fashion house in some way?
Occasionally, yes.
Are
On
you
occasion.
an agent provocateur? I mean, do you come to this country, are you here specifically for some particular fashions that are being shown here? Is that why
Right
you're here?
now?
You might say I design a fashion. I do come here to develop it. Yes, you might say that.
I see. You have nothing to do with Carnaby Street.
I sometimes wear their clothes, but I have nothing to do with it. No.
All right, I gotta know.
That's right. That's 6 down and 4. I'm going to give you one more minute because you're sticking too close to one area.
Mr. X, do you have anything to do with hair?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Sassoon!
Yeah, that's right. That was fun. But you see, Henry, now why I was saying a relationship to, I was trying to get you away just from fabrics and designs on fabrics, because Vidal Sassoon is certainly very much connected with the fashion. In fact, with Mary Quant, who was with us, you very often work directly with her in the presentation of new styles, don't you?
Well, we started pretty much at the same time, 10, 12 years ago, and we've worked together ever since.
So that when she comes here to do a fashion show, you'll come and...
I think she's in next week, actually.
How would you must forgive me, I know very little about hairstyles, but yours is unique. How do you describe it? Geometric? Or how is it described? Not necessarily the way you describe it.
As you described it.
Geometric?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Kind of like...
Well, we use the angles, lines and bone structures of people's faces, and we cut accordingly to broaden the cheekbones and do something with the eyes.
What do you think of that close-cropped fashion brought in by Mia Farrow and her crowd?
She did a very good job, because it's very rarely that somebody outside fashion brings in a fashion that sticks. But then, actually, Jean Seberg did the same thing with the same line about 6, 7 years ago.
you think we could do anything with Bennett's hair, given enough time?
We could contemplate, you know.
But Mr. Sassoon has, what, 3 shops in London?
Yes.
He has
One
a shop
here,
here, too?
and one in Washington, D.C., so that he's well, 2/3, no, I guess 2/5 American now, at least in terms of your operations, right?
Actually, I came here this time, not particularly to work, but to marry an American girl.
Ah, actually, he married Beverly Dana last month?
Beverly Adams.
Beverly Adams, I'm sorry, and this last month.
That's right.
Did it all start with a haircut, Mr. Sassoon?
Well, truly it did. She came into the salon. She was making a picture in London and came in for a haircut. And I had a system in London where any pretty girls that came into town, I had to be told, you see.
Very good system.
I hope you stop that now.
It stopped.
If that doesn't get you in some trouble in the years to come, I'll be about surprised. Well, may we congratulate, albeit a bit late, congratulate you and wish you much happiness and a long life and many issues.
Thank you indeed.
Nice to have you with us. We'll have another contestant for you in just a moment after this word.
What's that? The Glow Coat Heel Mark Shield. Shields against Jimmy's black heel marks. All of them? Well, just about. Great.
Now, a wax hard enough to shield against black heel marks. Glow Coat, twice as hard as most other waxes. See? Still shining.
Hey, where you going? I need a shield at my house.
Glow Coat, shields against black heel marks.
The great outdoors, the clean smell of sun-washed air. This is a man's kind of place. It's Sun Country. Sun Country, new from Glade. The air freshener your man will really go for. It's like all the good, fresh, clean outdoors. Sun Country, the all-outdoors air freshener for your man, new from Glade.
And now to meet our next challenger, will you enter and sign in, please? Ernie? Louie, right, sir? All right. Mr. Louie, where are you from?
San Francisco.
San Francisco. Well, you have a friend on the panel. Miss Lee is now, as you know, in television in San Francisco. So you've got lots going for you. May I present all of the panel? Mr. Louie, now will you join me over here, sir, and we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, we can tell you that Mr. Louie is self-employed and he deals in a product. And we'll begin things with Arlene Francis.
Is it a product any of us on the panel might have used?
Yes.
Is it consumed? Eaten?
Yes.
I wouldn't find a fortune in it, would I, Mr. Louie? Are you a fortune cookie man?
Oh, no!
What took you so long?
I got him over before you said enough. Anyway,
I'm so sorry, but I had some Chinese dinner, and in the fortune cookie it said you'd be on the panel.
Now, Mr. Louie is vice president in charge of sales for the Lotus Fortune Cookie Company.
I made fortune cookies there one day.
You did?
The great big fortune cookie.
Well, this was the... Gypsy, this is what we were hoping to, was to get over to you and have you not get anywhere with it because you knew the
were there
company.
that day.
Yes, I was.
You were?
Yes.
Well, I was terribly busy with the machinery, I might add. Very difficult making a fortune cookie, you know.
It gets pretty hot, doesn't it?
You have to bend them while they're hot.
That's true of all of us.
Mr. Louie, I have to tell you, the fortune cookie I opened last had a little message in it saying you're going to meet a very dark, beautiful girl, and you're going to give her money. She's our cashier.
Actually, the next cookie would have said, please disregard the previous fortune.
Mr. Louie's company makes, what, 50,000 a day?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
And I was interested about where the fortunes came from, and you get those in bulk. You buy them in bulk, do you?
No, I do. The fortune itself is printed by the millions, and I do some of the creating part of it and make up some of the sayings that seems to could be appropriate at times, and sometimes it could be a little obnoxious.
Well, I'm very sorry that we didn't give him more trouble, because particularly we wanted to fool you, Gypsy. But Mr. Louie, thanks very much for coming all this way to see us. And I wish I was going back where you're going. San Francisco, that's great country. Lovely to see you. We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, this message.
Night.
No sleep for me. I'm all tensed up.
Take a sleeping tablet.
Aren't they all alike?
No, this one's different. Nitol.
Safe?
Of course, just follow directions.
So what's different?
Read this advertisement in Reader's Digest.
Nitol releases its sleep-inducing ingredient more than twice as fast as any other leading brand.
Helps you get to sleep faster, wake up raring to go. Good night.
Try Nitol, safe, non-habit forming.
Denture wearers, we've stained this egg with a special solution of tough staining iodine to help illustrate the effervescent oxygen power in Paladin Tablets. We drop the egg in warm water, add a new pure white Paladin tablet, and instantly the iodine starts to vanish. In minutes, the stain is gone, safely. The egg is naturally bright, whiter. If you want really clean dentures, really fresh breath, get the new power in Paladin Tablets.
Now the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery challenger, for which, as everybody knows, this side of Timbuktu, the panel is always blindfolded. Are those blindfolds in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you enter mystery challenger and sign in, please? All right, panel, you will remember that we go to a different form of questioning, one question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise, and we'll begin everything with Henry Morgan.
I take it from the whistling that you are a lady?
Thank you.
That's, yes, Miss Lee?
Well, oh.
Are you in the theatrical business?
Yes.
Mr. Sir?
Are you a very famous movie star?
Well, I don't know.
That has been answered by our audience. Yes, Miss Francis?
Are you in a picture that is about to open or has just opened?
Yes.
Mr. Morgan?
Are you, foreign born? That is, to Americans, are you foreign born?
Yes.
Miss Lee?
Are you French?
No.
That's one down and 9 to go, Mr. Sir.
Are you from one of the Central European countries?
Yes.
Miss Francis?
Which one did you have in mind?
Tut.
Ah. Central European countries. Are you a young, dark girl?
No.
2 down and 8 to go. Mr. Morgan?
Are you a young, fair girl?
Yes.
Miss Lee?
Sounds terribly sexy, doesn't it?
Yes, I'm in love already.
Do you sing?
I wish.
That's 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Sir.
Have you got one of the most magnificent chassis in the history of the female race?
The audience, I think, has answered that very effectively with a yes. Miss Francis?
Bennett, were you thinking of Ursula Andress?
That's who I was. I was afraid to guess because I thought it was either Elka Summer or you, Miss Andress. I thought I'd let Arlene make the mistake.
And then Arlene didn't. Arlene didn't.
When I said, were you thinking of Ursula Andress, how often have you thought of her, Bennett? Would you like to say?
I'm a married man.
Answer the question, Bennett.
You ever called Mr. James Bond?
Mr. James.
Mr. James Bond. Miss James Bond.
Well, I probably will be called that in that picture was coming out.
That's, yes, Casino Royale.
Yes.
No. Good. Actually, this is what I thought might start you off on the right track, and I guess it did, because it's opening in April here in New York, Casino Royale.
Yes.
Which is the new James Bond epic.
Well,
And,
one of two, John. There were two James Bond pictures coming out.
What's the other one?
Well, there's Casino Royale and the other one.
The other
And
one.
Casino Royale has many, many James Bond.
Yeah, the point is
And
made.
of course, the old James Bond is coming out, I think, I don't know when.
June.
In June, thank you.
Well, we will hope that, one, that you had as much fun in Casino Royale as you had in Dr.No, and we'll hope it's as big a success for you and also
For
for the
Columbia.
pictures and for you.
Yes.
And we thank you very much
Thank
for joining
you.
us.
Bye-bye.
Nice to have you with us. I thought things were going to be a little bit rough tonight, but I guess you're just too good for me. We'll have another contestant for you after this word.
"38 million women have used Bold, the detergent that goes beyond clean, beyond white, all the way to bright. More and more women are switching to Bold, the most popular new detergent in the country. 38 million women have discovered Bold's secret: power granules, blue, green, and white. They've seen there's never been a detergent like it. Bold is big, Bold is powerful. Bold is sweeping America because Bold goes beyond clean, beyond white, all the way to bright. More and more women are changing to Bold because they get not just whiter whites, but redder reds, stripier stripes, even blacker blacks. The word is out. Bold has the power to go beyond clean, beyond white, all the way to bright. Join the march. Get Bold.
And now a final contestant. Will you enter and sign in after you have entered, please? Doris? Renninger, right? Is it Miss or Mrs. Renninger?
Mrs.
Mrs. Renninger. Where are you from?
Beechhurst, New York.
Beechhurst, New York. That's long?
Out under the Throgs Neck Bridge.
Under the Throgs Neck Bridge. Fine. May I present the panel, Mrs. Renninger?
Hello, Pam.
And now will you join me over here? We'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, we can tell you that Mrs. Renninger is salaried and deals in a service, and we'll begin the general questioning with Gypsy Roasty.
She's self-employed?
No, salaried, deals in a service.
In a service. Do you perform this service for, exclusively for men?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mrs. Renninger, do you perform this service for a profit-making organization?
Well, yes, sir.
You do?
Yes.
Has the organization got anything to do with the world of sports?
No, sir.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Mrs. Renninger, do you have any special training for your job?
Yes, I do.
Have you any title in your job?
You mean a formal title, such as doctor?
I mean, if one called Mrs. Renninger by a specific thing like doctor, lawyer, merchant, chief, dog catcher, any of those things? Does she have that kind of a title?
Well, the job description, which goes with her line, is very specific, but it would not be used as a title. Now, I'll leave it up to you to tell me whether that was what you were seeking out or whether you were asking
Oh,
formally
don't you
for
leave it up for me, because I'm going to say that's exactly what I meant, John.
All right.
Go ahead. At all.
Do you require a formal education for what you do, Mrs. Renninger?
I'd say formal training.
Not a formal...
Not education.
No. That's 3 down and 7 to go. Mr. Morgan.
Ma'am, what you do, is it usually done by a man?
Yes, more than a woman.
Keep talking.
I'm not supposed to.
Does it require any particular physical strength?
Not particularly.
4 down and 6 to go. Miss Lee.
Does it have anything to do with athletics?
No.
5 down and 5 to go. Mr. Sir.
Ranger, does your work have anything to do with either the world of transportation or construction?
Which?
One of the two?
Yes.
Construction?
No.
That's wonderful, Bennett. I knew I could count on you. 6 down and 4 to go. Miss Francis.
Well, Mrs. Renninger, if it is transportation, are you ever off the ground in your job?
Yes.
You fly?
Yes.
You fly a specific kind of plane? Is that what we have to find out?
That'd be a fair assumption.
Since I don't happen to know any kinds of planes. Have you ever won a race?
No.
That's 7 down and 3 to go. Mr. Morgan.
Well, Ms. Renninger, when you fly a plane, could I say, do you do it commercially, as a scheduled operation of an airline?
No. That makes it 8 down and 2 to go. Miss Lee?
Do you fly very fast airplanes?
No.
Nope. 9 down and 1 to go. Mr. Sir?
That would leave the world of the helicopter. Have you got anything to do with helicopters?
Yes.
Actually, Mrs. Ranger is a helicopter pilot and flies for Hell Air copters out of Midtown Manhattan, and they do charter work, which is why, Henry, when you said schedule...
Racket over our house.
No, sir.
No, they don't make any racket. These are completely silent. And there were how many women fly helicopters?
Well, we have about 113 whirly girls now.
Is that what you're calling
Whirly girls, they call
Yes.
it. But 113 in the whole country. Isn't that great?
In the whole wide world.
Oh, the whole wide world. Helicopters are lucky to have you. Thanks very much. Nice to
thank
have
you.
you with us. Good to see you. Henry, I hope, since we weren't as tough as we thought we were going to be, you had a good time. It was nice to have you with us.
I had fun, thank you.
And good night, Arlene. Have a wonderful time in California.
Thank you, John. Good night, Henry. Come back again.
Good night, Arlene. Good night,
Can't quite remember your name.
Gypsy will do, dear.
Good night, Gypsy.
Good night, Bennett.
I have to leave Miss Andress. I have a feeling he's waiting for me. Good night, John.
So is
Dreams, dreams, dreams. Next week, to celebrate, we're going to have Steve Allen and Jane Meadows back with us, and thanks to all of you for being with us tonight on What's My Line?
What's My Line is a CBS Television Network production in association with Mark Woodson and Bill Cotton. With brass and gown from Bonwit Teller, this is Johnny Olson speaking. What's My Line was brought to you by Bold, a totally new detergent that goes beyond clean, beyond white. All the way to bright gets clothes bright. Bold.
Are you watching, you little rascals?
Oh, it's fun, isn't it?
And who subscribes to it? Go on, push the button.
Think of the fun you could have on the tube. The tube?
You.
Tube.
TV tubes. That's a lot of fun, isn't it?
It's going to be a lot more fun if you keep going the way you're going.
Go on, push the button. Please subscribe.
I hope they're watching.